Yeah, my name's Darin Cook. I'm a partner with Pelli Clarke Partners. We're based in New Haven, Connecticut, and have a exciting practice. We're involved with large-scale office buildings. We do institutional buildings, a broad selection of civic structures, and so we're both national and international in our interest and our footprint. And we're always looking for young, new, bright, talented people to come and join the firm. So working at our office, we actually have two offices here in the United States, one in New Haven, Connecticut, where we have about 85 people. Our New York office has about 25 people, and they're very much grouped into small studio spaces, so you never feel sort of overwhelmed by the large number of people. So we're a team-based organization focusing on each project, and so this is a great chance for sort of mentoring and learning about a project in depth. So that's how we sort of strategically organize ourselves. And with that, every young, architect and even the more advanced ones get to dive in deep into every project. And that's what we like to sort of carry through a project in great detail, learning, everything you need from the client to the consultants to the program, and ultimately seeing the projects being built, which is for me a very exciting portion of the work. Communication is everything in architecture. It's a communication with amongst our team, amongst each other. It's incredibly important for communicating with our clients, understanding what their needs are, and so our work is really to synthesize communication. We need to understand what people are striving to achieve, and we need to then communicate our ideas back to them. So as we engage with working groups, faculty members, a community gathering, communication is fundamental to everything we do, and so developing good communication skills, which it means listening as much as speaking, as well as the art of communicating ideas architecturally, be it through a rendering, a model, or just articulating idea clearly is really important for us. What we look for in portfolios is actually, again, a demonstration of creativity. It's not even about specific projects, but seeing how someone has taken a challenging problem, investigated it, and what their resolution is. And showing that sort of exploration of ideas is what we're looking for. And it's really showing sort of the maturity of an architect, how they delve into the analysis and sort of recreative process of generating ideas. And so it can be a very, very modest project, say, in scale, but it's sort of the richness of the ideas. And back to communication, how they then communicate that idea to us either through the portfolio or even describing their project. So something that shows creativity is fundamental to us. Well, diversity is essential, and without a doubt, the profession needs greater diversity. And we're always looking for a greater selection of people who are actually interested in the profession. We need to do a better job ourselves of reaching out to as many people as possible to become more inclusive. And that's essential not only for us as a firm, but for architecture, because we really need to have architecture represent society. And so we're looking to improve our office, create a better working environment, and also represent our clients in the best way possible. And our clients look to us. They're looking to find firms that look like them. And so the more we know about our clients, the communities we represent, we need to represent that same group within our office. And so we're open and welcome to improving and increasing the diversity within our office. I'd say our firm our specialty is generalization. We're made up of people with a broad set of skills. That's design skills, communication skills, and interests. We definitely have a group of people who are very interested in sustainability. We have others who are very, very interested and sort of on the leading edge of technological developments. So we're looking at AI and how that affects our work. I think a risk for any young architect is you also don't want to get pigeonholed. So specialization has a great interest and maybe a good hiring point that you can plug yourself into an organization and provide a service. But my biggest sort of recommendation to any young hire It's to look at how broadly they can present themselves, because you don't know what the future is. And you need to develop a broad, sort of a broad cross-section of skills, and hopefully bring all of those up, while perhaps focusing on a particular interest. But I think to position yourself as best possible in our firm or within the industry, it's going to be a generalist, because you don't know what the future holds a year from now or 10 years from now. And so I think promoting interest, but also broadening your skill set is really critical. So I think mentorship is critical for all of us. I'm still being mentored by the senior folks in my office. I very much enjoy the role of mentoring younger employees in our office and through schools. It's really fundamental. You don't know the path forward in architecture, and there's many, many paths that your career can take. And so this is a dialogue between an employee, a team member, as well as any person that they look to be a mentor, who can help them, point them in a direction, lay out possible pathways for them, provide advice. And that's a dialogue, again, back and forth between the mentor and the mentee. What's that person looking for in their career development, and how can someone help them? And so we all benefit from this sort of open exchange of ideas. And so we very much promote an open dialogue with all of our employees. And so the sort of open studio environment helps people hear what's going on. Someone will come to me and just say, how do I get onto that project? Or how do I have an opportunity to enhance this skill? And so that, I think, is very much fundamental to the entire mentorship program. Work-life balance extends beyond even the operation of our firm, but within the industry and sort of worldwide right now is like, how do people find a sort of a balance in their work-home life? That means remote work. Our office, since the COVID, has adopted a new strategy for when people need to be in the office. I do think with several years of hindsight, now that we've looked at how work has evolved since COVID, my biggest concern actually for the young employee, and I was just speaking with friends about this the other day, is what they may be losing by working remotely. We offer that as an opportunity for them, but I think the learning environment, the fact that you can be sitting in a space and hearing conversations going on that you don't know where that may go. When you're at home and you're not tuned in to the Zoom call, you don't know the other conversations that are happening. And that's a loss, and that's not just for a young employee, it's for the entire design team. And it proves to be a challenge for us as we work through this kind of remote work effort. But we definitely understand, life is changing. I think it's actually a great improvement that, it's not about pulling the all-nighters, endless hours that we go through college or graduate school. And it's definitely, trying to find a balance where we can focus on architecture, which we all love doing, provide the work that we need to get done, but also respecting and understanding everybody's personal needs, time needs, and also sort of mental health that comes along with a little bit of fresh air. So it's we're constantly rejiggering the whole methodology and measure and balance of time on the job and time to relax and enjoy life. So I'd say workplace retention is always a challenge. We love the sort of mentoring process. We invest lots of time, effort, money, treasure, into bringing up all of our employees to be very sort of high-level, competent architects. And it's actually very sad to see them go when they decide it's time to move on. At the same time, we recognize it's part of the profession. It's actually part of maturing, and it's part of sort of advancing your career. So some people we know will come in for 1 or 2 years. They're trying out the market. They'll see and I think that's a great thing, particularly as a young architect, to try out different places, learn what's going on in the profession, in the market, in different cities and different countries. So there's going to be a certain amount of turnover at the early stages in one's career. How you maintain people and retain people over the long term is to make the place an exciting and inviting and supportive workplace. And so we work very hard to create an environment that people feel they can meet goals, they can achieve their aspirations, and that there's a reason to stay there long term. Personally, I've been at my office now 27 years. A number of my colleagues have been in anywhere from the 18 to 25 years. We found a place that's very supportive, great projects, great colleagues to work with. It's an enjoyable place to be. And then at the same time, we always have a kind of a constant churn, someone who's like around for 4 or 5 years, they've learned a lot, and then they go on to, pursue another interest in another place. And we always sort of wish them well, and we actually have a lot of people who come back after a few years that they enjoyed it so much, they went out and tried some other things, and then they return to us. We enjoy that as well. I'd say looking at one's portfolio in the early days, you actually expect to see, perhaps someone stayed at a place a year or 2 years. Then depending on the role in which you hope to hire someone, you're looking for someone who's actually put down roots, that they can actually learn roles, responsibilities, and actually execute those. And those, just by nature, require time. So if you happen to see someone's portfolio and it's a series of like 4 one-year stints, you recognize either they're sort of not quite happy with the work environment, or they haven't quite found what they want to focus on yet. And so we're looking for someone at different responsibility levels, people who've actually developed the opportunity to have responsibility delegated to them, and that they've actually learned about that and executed that. And that shows up suddenly like a 3-year, 4-year, 5-year experience at one place. Because otherwise, a new employee, you don't automatically hand them responsibility for a job. They actually, like it or not, have to prove their worth. You have to have trust. You have to, demonstrate your capability to communicate well to a client and different groups, and that comes from experience. So it's a balance, and again, it evolves over time in someone's career. And again, we're not surprised at all to see 1.5, 2 year turnovers in the early days of a career, but then depending on where people want to go in their trajectory, you start looking for sort of longer time commitments. Leadership, I think, is a open-minded awareness of everything that's going on, and an ability to communicate to those above you, in sort of positions of power, that you can sort of express, concerns and issues, and also being keenly aware of the concerns of everybody else that you're working with. And leadership is not so much about standing in front and pulling someone, it's really about reaching out and having people join you on this journey. And so it's being open, and again, communication is absolutely critical to have your ears open to what's going on. And so leadership takes a great deal of listening and understanding where people are wanting to go, and how you can convince people to go along with you. And that sort of drives even how we work as architects. Leadership on a design project is listening to a client and then helping guide them in a direction that you hope to go, or they hope to go. And so I think the best way I'd summarize it is leadership is open awareness and concern. I think the best piece of advice I could say to anyone is actually you're going to design your career as much as you design a building. You have to be thinking about not only your educational career that you sort of planned out, you applied, you went to school. Now you have to think about, how do you now craft, create, and design the future of your life? And where do you want to take that in the profession? So you actually start to have to seriously be introspective, think about what you want to achieve, set goals for yourself, sometimes set time limits to yourself, and then work toward those goals. I think the one sort of danger or challenge for a young employee is they sort of get out of school and they just start working, and they find themselves 3-5 years from now not sure where they are or how they got there. And so I think a great deal of self-awareness is critical to help make their life as beneficial and as enriching as possible.